Do you want Rueben Bain at 12?
I'm snatching him up. I'm snatching him up.
Let's do pass rusher at 12. If the Cowboys need pass rushers, and they do, could the combine let Rueben Bain fall to the Dallas Cowboys? Those would be the shortest arms to ever be drafted in the top 100. Not in the first round, in the top 100. He's got top 3 tape in this class. Can those arms get enough teams to be like, well, we have certain thresholds that we believe that defensive ends are supposed to meet, and he's a big-time outlier, and so we're going to go a different direction. Could that happen? And if it does, are you happy with Rueben Bain being a Cowboy? And I'm going to stop going through names now because I think that is a really interesting question. If Rueben Bain is available at 12, because other NFL teams go, David Bailey's got the measurables, I'm picking him over him. A couple offensive linemen go, quarterback, couple wide receivers go, and another Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, and you get to 12, and 11 teams have passed because they're like, he's such an outlier. That's a risky pick. We're not going to be the ones that make it. Do you want Rueben Bain at 12?
I'm snatching him up. I'm snatching him up. Give it to me at 12. I'm snatching him up. Yes, I want Rueben Bain at 12 because the tape doesn't lie. And some of the offensive linemen that you'll see in this draft, some of the offensive linemen that are in the National Football League, Rueben Bain moved mountains, okay? Against quality opponents, not against rinky-dink opponents, not against guys who we will never hear from again. He moved mountains week in and week out with his short arms. He was able to do things at that position that was very disruptive, that was very physical. That is something that the Cowboys could use. I'm not a scout, and I know that scouts have their hard and fast rules and their measurables and the things that they just stick by. And it's been passed down from grandfather scouts to grandfather scouts to grandfather scouts. It goes back 150 years, right? But our players, right? We missed out here in the Cowboys on a generational talent in TJ Watt simply because of someone who was in a position of power who said, well, in my mind, they have to have a certain this or that or this, or they're just not a defensive end for me. And he goes to Pittsburgh.
Because he didn't put his hand on the ground. Rod Marinelli didn't like him because his hand wasn't on the ground.
And so now we're looking at a guy who's going to wear a yellow jacket 5 years after he's done playing the game of football. So if the tape says that this dude can play football, if the tape says that this guy can go out here and move mountains and nothing truly restricts him, then I would run to the phone to hand in that card, or run to whoever I had to hand in that card to and say, I will take Rueben Bain at number 12 and be happy with that and set him out there on that edge and let him go to work.
Tape doesn't lie, but history also doesn't lie. And as you pointed out with the 4 fast guys, and how only one, huh? You point out with the fast guys, only one fast guy of the top 40 has 1,000 yards running. History says guys with short arms don't star in the league. Don't play. Rueben Bain will play in the league. Okay, there's no question about that. He's going to be a player in the league. Will he be special? The Cowboys looking for something special. The hype is special. Guys with short arms have not shown to be special. Okay, and so that's the question you have to worry about when you're picking that high. Is he going to be a difference maker? Yeah, he'll play in the league a long time. And I think the conversation is different. We bring up TJ Watt. It wasn't about a size thing. It was a scheme thing. And the Cowboys played 4-3, and Rod Marinelli he's a 3-4 outside linebacker. And even though the league was changed, that's why we love the young coaches, because they changed their ideas and their mind with the league and the flow of the league. Even though you play nickel most of the time, he's going to be rushing the passer. You're not asking him to do some things you want traditional size defensive ends to do, which is what Rod was stuck on. I run a 4-3. He doesn't play 4-3 end in my defense, and he's not going to be outside linebacker in our defense. He doesn't fit what we do, and he can't see the future that We in nickel 30%, more 70% of the time. We were rushing the quarterback. He gets to the quarterback. He does that better than Taco Charlton drafted guy. I think that's a different conversation than we're talking about short arms. When historically guys with short arms, you look at all the guys who made all pros and been difference makers, they haven't had short arms. And so that's what you're asking guys to go against, not the tape, but the history.
Yeah, and I think, and you're drawing the balance between, okay, well, let's say it's not him, and you go down your list to like your next best pass rusher in this draft. You might get to Cassius Howell at Texas A&M, and then you go, oh, his arms are even shorter. His arms.
That's why you don't want to. That's why you don't go to the grocery store hungry. Cowboys are going to draft hungry at certain positions.
Yeah. Well, Cassius Howell will have the shortest arms of an edge player to ever be drafted, not top 100, to ever be drafted. Right. And so this is a trust the tape year. Otherwise, if you're a team taking a pass rusher, you're going to drop down to a guy. You're going to say, I think Rueben Bain on tape is my third best player in the class. I think Cassius Howell is my 19th best player. And they're going to be like, yeah, but those measurables don't work. How about Zion Young at Missouri, who to me is probably the 40th to 50th best player? Long arms and can hold the edge, baby. And it's like, how do you balance this? And it's the weirdest year of trying to balance it. And it's also the thing that gives me some hope, that you might have a shot at Caleb Downs. Because Caleb Downs, awesome tape. He ain't Ed Reed. Those arms, his wingspan, his size is very middle of the road or shorter if you're talking about how sort of long he is, which is useful in defending the pass. It's useful in tackling, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And he plays a position that some don't consider premium. We do now. The Cowboys are going to consider what he does to be a premium position because they're going to put him in the slot, and they're going to have him defending the run, defending the pass. They're going to have him blitzing. They're going to have him blowing up RPOs and screens. They would have him in a premium position. And so I just wonder, and I think it's the Cowboys' dream scenario, that somebody without the perfect measurables in Bain or without the perfect measurables and playing a non-premium position to some in Caleb Downs, that's my dream for what happens with the Dallas Cowboys, is that the NFL lets one of those two players who have top 5 tape get to you because of position or T-Rex. Because T-Rex has got tiny arms. There's some science out there, by the way, that says that T-Rexes also didn't roar. They made a sound that was more like a bird. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
You don't want a bird.
That's how I'm no well. Bird? I just take shots.
Bird at defensive end? Come on, Jesse. You want a bird? No, as a defensive end?